Welcome to Independence Nation on the Light of Life Network. Where there is police brutality, there are riots. Unfortunately, there have been riots in Ferguson, Missouri, due to a police officer shooting a young teenager. So here we go again. The story over and over again, and we've reported on these stories all this year, all last year, as you already know, that there were young teenagers that were killed in the back of a police cruiser, and other stories. Somehow that they were handcuffed, sitting in the back of the police cruiser, and they managed to get a hold of a gun or the officer's gun and shoot themselves in the head with the handcuffs behind their back. Something Houdini would have a hard time doing. But they were somehow able to shoot themselves in the head in the back of a police cruiser. So we have a similar type of story going on in Ferguson, Missouri. As I said, and the article reads, Ferguson Riots, clashes looting in Missouri following vigil for teen shot dead by police. Now, if you're not familiar with this story, the police officer was said to have questioned two young men and said to have an altercation as he was trying to get out of the car, and therefore he was pushed back into the police car, and then from there shots started ringing out. But the eyewitnesses to what actually happened showed that the teenager shot by the name of Michael Brown was shot 35 feet away from the officer and shot 8 times center mass in the chest, and as he had his hands held in the air and down on one knee. So let me read a few of the excerpts of the article here. It says here, a gathering of mourners at the shooting site Sunday night for Brown, 18, which was going to start school yesterday, was going to start college, and his family was so proud of him that he was getting ready to start college. He made it through high school, made it through graduation, getting ready to embark on a new episode in his life, and he gets shot down. So a gathering of mourners at the shooting site Sunday night for Brown, 18, who was to begin his first day in college today, quickly turned violent as people struggled to understand how police could shoot an unarmed teenager in broad daylight. So I don't understand this here. I don't understand how this officer, who remains unnamed, they're keeping quiet on who he is because of so many people are upset concerning the situation. But how you could figure that you need to shoot an unarmed teenager in broad daylight. So it wasn't like he had the excuse that he thought that there was a weapon on the young man, and that he just had to shoot him, and he could have used any other alternative source as far as a stun gun, etc., etc. But he went straight for lethal force and shot this young teenager 8 times in the chest as he held his hands in the air, surrendering, and down on one knee. Let me read further. The sound of gunfire was reported in the neighborhood late Sunday. About 150 officers in riot gear from throughout St. Louis County, along with canine units and a SWAT team, were sent to the area, a dispatcher for St. Louis County Police Department said. Now, hundreds of demonstrators, as many as 1,000 at the peak of the protest, according to police, gathered at the site of the shooting on Saturday. Some of them shouting, "Don't shoot," a county police spokesman said, as quoted by Chicago Tribune. Although authorities are still investigating the incident, St. Louis Police Chief John Belmar said a struggle between Brown and a police officer somehow ensued inside a police cruiser. Once again, those who were eyewitnesses showed that Brown was shot 35 feet away from the officer. So I don't understand how There could have been an altercation. Also, the second person involved in the incident was let go. So that lets me know that there actually was no incident where there's struggle for the gun, or he would have been held on charges and kept in the county jail, waiting to go to be indicted. But it shows me here that there was no altercation inside the police cruiser. Once again, this is another police tactic to cover for what he's done, shooting an unarmed teenager and just letting gunfire go. Now, there's been reports before concerning this place in Ferguson, Missouri, that the police have been harassing minorities, and they're at 66% more stopped than any other counterpart in that area. So they've been suffering police harassment for years, and now a situation has occurred where they had to watch this young man, 18 years old, who was about to embark on a new part of his life, get shot down, and so now there are riots. Now, I don't agree with there being riots, because those store owners, those local businessmen and women have nothing to do with the shooting of this young man. And so you have to take that into account. But there are peaceful protesters there. As it says here, they're just shouting, "Don't shoot." And they're basically letting their feelings be known concerning this police brutality that has gone on in their area. And not just for this incident, but for quite some time now. As I said, there are 66% more stopped by the police, whether they're in cars or on bicycles, being harassed by police, by Ferguson police, for several years. So, let me read further here. It is our understanding at this point in the investigation that within the police car, there was a struggle over the officer's weapon. Belmar told a news conference on Sunday. Once again, Belmar is the St. Louis police chief. Now, the police cruisers in Ferguson, a town of some 23,000 people, are not equipped with dash cameras, which would have proven valuable to investigators, nor are there surveillance cameras at the apartment complex where the incident occurred. The good thing is here that the Department of Justice and the FBI have gotten involved, and they have two separate investigations going on to look into these police officers, these Ferguson officers that have been known to harass the people, the minority people of Ferguson, Missouri. Now, police officials will be hard-pressed to explain why the victim was reportedly shot 8 times in the course of the altercation. Please, somebody tell me why in 2014 do we have to still deal with these types of situations around, especially obviously in small areas, as it reported 23,000 people in the town, and mostly minorities being harassed by police. So here we go again. Here we go again. What will they say this time? What will they say? How did they get through these things from taking these young people, these teenagers, put them in the back of police cruisers with their hands cuffed behind their back, and somehow they get shot in the head, and police get away with it. They get away with it. They continue to get away with it. And now the people have had enough, and there's been looting and rioting in that area. And you can only take so much of police brutality before the people do something back. This is Keith Pitts for Independence Nation. We'll continue to cover this situation and bring you more information. I'll see you next time.